Okay.
Thank you.
Again, embarrassing title.
Indeed. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there's a girl with a bow and a zombie. We're in for some fantasy, people.
Yep. Okay.
I notice it does the FONG thing where they don't put a period after the last letter in the acronym.
Yep.
So it's R.A.W.
So yeah, I'm guessing Bad Diablo 2 clone, or maybe Bad Diablo 1 clone.
Maybe with a slight chance of bad Infinity Engine clone or like Heroes. But yeah, I'm guessing Diablo.
Also, like, without even
that's good to
filing.
know. You don't need a soul stone for that.
Yeah, this also seems like they're not even bothering to file off any of the serial numbers and just like just making their own Diablo.
The loading screen should just say free Sages. I remember my friends doing that in Diablo. Everyone wanted to be in an 8-player game to like maximize the amount of experience they were getting. So they would make games named things like free Sages. So people would just join and be like, where do I get the free?
Okay, so we got a wizard who looks very like Rob Liefeld. We've got a warrior who looks very wizard. And a rogue who has a bow.
A very smelly bow.
Yes. And as is my policy, if you give me a choice of 3 characters and one of them is just the girl, I'm playing just the girl.
A land divided into 4
It's quite
cardinal
loud on
realms.
Discord compared to your voice.
It's quite loud,
Dwarves
period.
and
Let me...
used to live in peace until the advent of chaos, for reasons forgotten by all. The continent was locked in war, driving the inhabitants
Like, I
to
noticed the music was really
slaughter each
loud,
other
and I was hoping
for
that
almost
that was
2
all of them
decades.
going to be really loud, but...
As the war bogged down, the northern king petitioned for a truce.
Video is still...
And
Oh no, there, it
summoned
came
the
back.
kings of the
that's what
east, south, and west to the Temple of
Loading up sound
Heroes
mixer here.
at the next solstice. The other kings answered his call and
where
headed to the
is-
sacred site in the hope of finding a peaceful outcome
There we
to
go.
their conflict.
Much more
Shortly
balanced.
thereafter,
Yep.
the 3
That was
kings
crazy loud.
returned to their lands, haggard and injured. The northern king was never to be seen
Wait.
again. On returning, the kings proved incapable of speech and remained prostrate, absent of
Someone was
spirit.
pointing out that, like, everyone who makes a
Although their
fantasy setting,
return put an end to the
it's like you
war,
have the terrible
no
frozen
one
north,
knew what to do next.
you have
Since
the,
that time,
you know,
the
untamed
realms have
western
been left to their
frontier,
own
you
devices,
have all the, like,
as
pirate-filled
the
jungles in
10th
the south,
anniversary of the
and then to
summoning
the
of
east is just
kings
literally Asia.
appears on the horizon.
Every fantasy thing now is basically the Warcraft of the Rings.
Yep. And, I mean, you say now, but it's never not been true, but, like...
That's true.
Just mix it up a little. Like, if you have to have literally Japan, consider having it be to the west. Just like, the slightest change.
At least make it Japan's idea of fantasy Japan, right?
Oh, well, that's asking
Like,
too much.
Okami is Japan's idea of fantasy Japan,
Yeah.
and it's delightful.
And this is... Game, did you crash while loading your intro? Okay, no.
So it had to load all that, and then it had another load screen.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Diablo.
Yep.
Just going and randomly killing a pack of wolves.
Apparently. Okay. There's another thing, like, I hate being forced to, like, murder random animals in every game.
At least here they have a reason to be fighting back because you are actually there to murder them, whereas in, like, most fantasy games, they're just like rage virus
Oh,
zombies. They're just
I
they're
didn't
on the
realize how bad
distance.
this character model was until I opened this inventory screen. Look at this.
What is that boob piece?
Okay, this
Well, at least
is
her nipples are partially protected from
this
incoming blows.
this is a vest and a belt. That's really awful. There's also spiders, the traditional ally of all wolves. That was a good idea. I guess I should have known because it was still visible as red outline through the trees.
So wait, what was all this stuff about the kings in the north?
I don't know, just, let you know that's a thing. There'll probably be some, like, northern necromancers later.
But for now, we're just meant to like trust that the character will have a motivation.
Yep. Okay, now here's the tutorial that tells you everything from the menus without actually showing you any of it. There's my quest. The Alpha Wolf, which is totally a real thing.
Oh, these wolves are a metaphor for you, the player. Makes you think.
And here's my... Wait, is this the entire skill tree? This is a lot of options that I have.
I mean, it is, but it also, for like 20 levels, that's not very many icons, really.
Yeah.
Especially considering a lot of these look like boring stat boosts.
They sure do.
I feel like I'm going into this game very biased because of how bad its theming is. Maybe its gameplay will be amazing, but I'm betting it won't be.
I would like to point out to you that, back over where do I have like a dodge roll or... Okay, I have this button that I hit which made me sneeze.
Oh.
I don't know what that did, but like this looks like loot or something, right? Like I open this box
Yeah,
and
it
there's
does.
treasure.
That's got to be interactable. It's got an arrow and everything.
Okay, no, the triggers are for automatically using potions. Okay, right bumper lets me grab stuff, and oh, there's armor in there. Will it change how I look? I mean, I guess technically it did.
This is from the last adventure the wolves ate, and then they put their clothes
Wait.
tidily away in the box.
Wait,
It gave you slightly more boob armor.
Okay, you're right. It actually covers the boobs and also like one arm gets a belt. Okay. Although with the camera pulled back this far, like, and with this default turning into window, it's really hard to actually see anything on my character at all.
I kind of suspect this large number of giant spiders is probably more of a threat to locals than these wolves.
Yeah. Well, again, like, I'm assuming they are in cahoots in some strange fashion.
I would have rather the story up until this point been about that.
Oh, and I gotta worry about these, like, random steam vents that do damage to me, apparently?
Is that all your blood on the ground?
No, that's the spiders. And wolves, and,
But it came out of you.
Uh-huh.
Raw. They don't want you to forget at any moment that the game is named Raw.
Also, I can't believe that it's, like, not telling me what the open Twitter chest button is.
Maybe this character just doesn't know what she wants and she's just like following around like, ooh, wolves, ooh, a campfire.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta identify those later. This is... I'm trying to think what can I say about this game that's nice. Oh, it is my blood, okay.
Lighting isn't terrible.
It's a little terrible.
It is a little terrible. I've heard worse Foley effects.
It's fair. I'm not making super sexy grunts when I go with a little stabby combo. The camera's not totally horrible and recognizes the need to, like, highlight things when they're hidden behind the foreground.
I see that this is one of those 50 wolf families.
Yep. Okay, and I knocked that one wolf's skin off so I can go sell that.
Not the others, though.
No. Their skin stayed on just fine. Okay, that like hits everything in the area, so that's actually handy.
Oh, is that webbing they put on the ground and that's why you walk through it slow?
I guess. This is the same armor that I just put on. Yep. This font is like really hard to read too. It doesn't help this game like defaults to windowed, and I'm just getting like loot drops of vendor trash. Like if I was playing, you know, Diablo 2 for... Is this like the King of the Spiders? What the hell? I got a magic ring, which I can't use because...
Your finger is not muscular enough yet.
But why can't I use it though? Like, is it saying somewhere that I'm not reading?
Level
Oh,
3,
yeah. Level
I think?
3, yep. There it is. So, like, if this was Diablo 2, at this point in the game, I would have at least, like, a real quest. I would have...
and, like, 3 real skills.
Yeah, I'd have some actual customization. I'd have, like, a skill bar. I might effectively just be, like, spamming one move over and over again, but, like... It wouldn't just be a basic attack. Checkpoint.
It'd also look better, and you'd have some like intrigue about the town you were entering. You weren't just like, I'm gonna go kill a bunch of wolves. Ooh, there's a campfire. Don't see those every day. I'll go check that out.
And I mean, this is definitely a much more modern game than Diablo 2. Like, this is in an actual 3D engine. I'm fairly sure that that is the same character model I had running around.
These this cave is like a... How big is this cave?
Another good question. Yeah, like the ceiling is so high. Here's the alpha male, which is totally a real thing that happens in real life.
Yep. Also, only the male matters.
Yep. Ooh, it had some magical armor though.
Your boobs remain similarly covered.
Yeah. Well, it is still
Your
a
extremely Mortal Kombat 9 outfit.
Yeah. This is... Like, it's not as bad as the lack of armor there, right? Because the lack of armor... was, like... just awful.
With that little strap in the middle, it would look less awkward if she was just fighting topless.
It would. It really would. Or just like this, you know, vest that's hopefully not going to flap open.
Like if you want a sexy fighter outfit that has like a bunch of exposed skin, like make it so that she's wearing like a chest wrap so that her boobs don't bounce around when she's like swinging stuff. Like that'd be like plausible, but still, if you really have to go for the skin angle.
Yeah. Rather
than this like fetish gear.
Well, like there's that one illustration I saw on one of the like 5,000 Tumblrs there were about this back in the day. That was like talking about the whole like nudity versus like bad sexiness. And it's like, here is like, you know, some standard like flirty looking girl in chainmail and like a chainmail bikini. And that looks like really, really awful. And here's like an actual topless barbarian woman who looks fine. And not at all sexualized and like cool. And it's like, it's not even about the amount of skin. It's like how you use it.
Or at least make it equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Better yet, make a fantasy game where there's like a range of like tough versus sexy characters of all genders. Then like everyone's happy.
Exactly.
I always hear that brought up with fighting games too. Like there's so many sleazy designs for women in those,
So are there just, like,
people
infinite
point out like,
spiders in this
well,
pile of...
Zangief only fights in like a speedo. It's like you can't tell me Zangief's nudity is like meant to be sexy.
I mean, I guess if they like upped the body hair, there's a type.
Fair, but it's at least to me, I see the authorial intent in that definitely as being like that of a power fantasy. You are meant to imagine having his muscles when you are playing him.
Sorry, his
Whereas
muscle.
like Rainbow Mika, you are not imagining having her ass.
Yeah. And if you are, it's just gonna feel really cold, honestly.
Yeah. She get like stuck to the ground on like the winter levels.
Okay, so I completed that quest, and I don't like how small this quest log looks to be, if that's gonna stay on there. Yeah, let me just randomly murder this group of thieves. I'm pretty sure they're thieves, whose camp I stumbled across, because hey, maybe something can be award for doing that.
I'm starting to think these villagers are screwing with you.
Well, like, I didn't get told to do this by anyone. This is just, like, I found this, and this is apparently what I've just decided.
You just look,
Like,
thieves! Thieves
the
must
campfire
die!
led me to a thieves' outpost. Taking them all out isn't a bad idea. I might even get a reward. Like...
It's okay when you do it.
Yeah. This just seems different somehow. Oh, okay, did throw out a trap, which I saw and dodged, but it stayed in the ground, apparently. And I'm in this fart cloud. But it's doing, like, no damage at all, so who cares?
Yeah, I was being outpaced by your regen from the looks of it.
Hello, are you...
Oh, she's cool with all the people you just stabbed.
Oh, wrong button. Whoops. One of my friends ran with a chest full of gold. Why don't you go after him? He's gone past the mountain. I suppose you'd say anything.
I don't really like the protagonist.
Yeah, like...
I'm not sure we're not the baddies.
Like, yeah, I seem to be just, like... this horrible person roving the land murdering everything, saying maybe I'll get a reward for this.
Yeah. Isn't murder its own reward, though?
Also, holy cow, what is my reach?
So, to be clear, like, you've already killed the wolves that were, like, threatening the village, allegedly. So now these are just wolves you're killing for the experience.
So I was right here, right? That spider was, like, over here that died right there. Like, and this is a dagger, like, that I wasn't even facing that way for. It's like... Yeah, look at that!
Wow, yeah, you've gone through, like, 100... Yeah, that hitbox, wow.
If you're anywhere, like, in my vague vicinity while I'm mashing this melee combo out, you just go flying.
This game could definitely benefit from fewer, more meaningful encounters.
That too. Like, look at my HP regen up there. Yeah, look at my HP regen up there while I'm taking these arrows to the face. Whatever.
Splat. So this kind of illustrates a thing that's an advantage of Diablo, for that matter, because if you can go through the Diablo and you're just killing like zombies and like demons and whatever, it's like you stab them and they explode and it's like haha. And I can see someone being like, oh, what if we made Diablo but all the enemies you're fighting are like realistic-ish threats? But that honestly takes a lot of the fun out of it, because then you start asking these questions.
Yep. Also, I object to that being a realistic threat, and I'm just curious what happens when you actually die. Oh, you get up at the last point and have all your stuff still. Okay.
Ah, but it consumed a soul stone.
Oh, yeah,
Illegally
I guess.
distinct soul stone.
Yep. So this is garbage.
Do you think there's like just around the next bend there'd be like a new cutscene? I am kind of curious if we get at least some like story context.
Yeah, I guess we are due for something, huh? It does seem like the sort of game where there is a town.
It seems like
ring.
there's really nothing to the combat besides like you do a projectile or you damage soak and melee.
And that's because I played the rogue. If I was like the regular fighter, I would assume I just have a sword combo and that's it. I can only wear one ring, huh? Usually two, which is also kind of weird because like I got more than two fingers.
I remember there being some lore reason for that in Diablo, like the Magicon rings, like they cancel out if you had too many of them in close proximity, so
Yeah.
like you could wear, although you would think then you could still like safely wear like 2 toe rings or something.
Yeah, I think D&D has the same excuse. And I think that giant spider is a little confused and may need some help.
Some wizard that has just like piercings all over because they wear like every magic ring they can find.
I could see it. I can also see if some wizard that just has piercing all over and that's the excuse they give.
Yes.
I'm not really off honest. I'm just maximizing my bonuses here. And this, like, this is not enough stats to make these interesting.
When I was having that big pile of scramble earlier, all I could think to myself was, freshman! little running goth joke for longtime chat viewers there.
But were you smashing into your forehead is the question.
No. I was feeling pretty uncoordinated, but I did get most of it in my mouth.
I do want to get back to that game at some point, though. It was like it's impressive, first of all, that I wound up playing that for, what was it, like 4 hours, just because I was expecting there to be a death around the corner.
And then the story concluded, as far as we could tell,
Yeah.
and there's still, like, significantly more games, so I'm intrigued. I get kind of a... flavor-wise, it was feeling kind of like Phantasmagoria to me.
Yeah, a
Like,
little bit.
surreal adventure game where it's like the entertainment is partly intentional, partly because of the cheese.
Okay, got some more armor here. Sacred
We are
blood
talking
armor.
about the game Gray Matter for anyone confused. Oh, I should actually bring up chat on that note. That wasn't in response to a question, but
Oh, I can't use the sacred blood armor yet, sadly. But I'm looking forward to it.
sacred. Oh. Sacred to who?
You know, guys.
Just objectively sacred.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I hate about, like, D&D is if you have, like, you know, like, holy armor, it's, like, giving you a sacred bonus to your, like, armor class. Unless it's, like, evil holy armor, then it gives you a, like, blasphemous bonus to your armor class. But it's like, if that's who I worship, that's not, like, blasphemy. That's just... And I got sacred purple leggings, too. I gotta level up to 6 and find out what this looks like.
You're not sacred enough yet. You gotta kill more Are these even bandits, or are these just random woods people you're killing at this point?
We're the first ones even bandits, let's be honest.
That's true. I think we are the bandits.
Like, these people are just sitting around having, like, by some campfires by themselves. There aren't even any, like, roads to ambush people on out here. It's just, like, some random trees.
Oh yeah, who would they even be stealing from?
I guess this corpse here.
Killing someone for treasure, that's something we will not abide.
That's it.
I did appreciate in Diablo 3, I forget which part it was, but there was that one guy that comes to you and is like, no, you've got to stop those grave robbers. They're stealing all the treasure from that tomb, something you would never do. And I was like, ah, good. They know.
Yep. Oh no.
Oh, this was all like one giant pack?
Oh, here's the alpha female. So we do have both. Now they're all dead. And this wolf has some treasure, as wolves tend to do. Where's my, like, experience, anyway? Is that white bar? Oh, no, there it is. That's gonna take
Wolf
forever.
just defending those chests. You will never take my sacred leggings. Oh, maybe they were sacred to the wolves.
Could be. It's like, these are the tights that my old master used to wrestle me with. Like,
The purple leggings of John Talbane.
is that the character from the Gore books?
No, that's the character from That's the werewolf from the Darkstalkers games.
Ah, okay.
Is there a werewolf in the Gore books too?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's kind of surprising.
I can happily report that I've never read them. And all my knowledge comes from MST3K episodes and some unfortunate time in Second Life. Which, I know I've told this story in some places, but it really is fascinating to me. Second Life has this whole community that decided to have this, like, basically build their own MMO in Second Life. So they've got, like, they're like hundreds of little subservers, and they worked out this system where they, like, add attachments to characters that give you RPG stats, and also a hitbox that works with, like, weapons people make to use the actual, like, physics model of Second Life. Like, to the point where wind will affect arrows and stuff like that. And then it's just kind of like, you know, if it's your little plot of land, you control what's going on with it. Oh, I gotta hurry through this portal? Okay. Is it gonna
That
be
was
plot?
extremely this cutscene missing.
Yep. And yeah, this is what we get, huh? That's okay. Okay.
Oh, well, now you know that Grimelda wasn't very nice. That's good to know.
Well, these are just like random tooltips. Doesn't even like plot this gives me. But hopefully there will be in here something.
You were fighting like 10 zombies, and then this guy told you to run through the portal, and now you're fighting like 20 zombies.
Yep.
Doesn't seem very trustworthy to me.
Yep. Well, I was in a rush too because I wasn't sure if it was actually like an optional bonus secret thing or just the plot. Oh no, I'm getting surrounded. I better like occasionally hit that drink potion button. I mean, my attack hits in like a giant ring around me, so it's not like there's strategy involved here. I swear they just died without me even hitting them. There's something in the middle of the room.
There's things all over the room. I mean, I guess the biggest glowing thing is there. So to go on about Second Life.
Right, so like it's this very elaborate like thing where it's like people just made their own MMO with like different people making weapons that are all compatible with this system, this shared system. Someone occasionally updating the like RPG stat thing that you attach to yourself to, you know, support new features and whatnot. Then like having big areas that'll like detect if you're not wearing it, put a big flag over your head where it just kind of calls you a cheater. And then like, yeah, just make your own little setting. And it's like, okay, this is my little island that I made, so I am kind of the GM of this little island. And just, you know, here's my group who lives here, and like, here are barbarians who are come through here to try to like kidnap everybody, take home as slaves, and then they can actually do that, and they actually take them to another part of the world, which is like this massive map where you would have to have like, you know, your rescue party like go find them physically, which is kind of cool. And, like, I could really get behind the whole thing, but A, it's based on the Gore novels, which is awful, and B, like, it's really, really, really secretly all elaborate S&M foreplay.
It is Second Life.
Yeah. It's like, so, okay. If you're a guy, you have to be just this, like, roving barbarian who's looking for sex slaves. And if you're a girl, you have to be someone who's going to be kidnapped by barbarians to be made into a sex slave. And, no thanks on either front?
I mean, I guess if you know that's what you're signing up for.
Well, here's the thing, I didn't.
Oh, right.
Although I was lucky to have found a group of people who were, like, in it because, like, it's this cool, oppressive role-playing thing, and, like, did not care about that sort of thing at all, and they just kind of, like, okay, we're just, like, the actual murderous natives of this island who, like, don't take prisoners and, have a bunch of traps set up, and we're just, like, doing this whole survival in the wilderness thing. It's like, okay, that's cool. Because occasionally there are visitors who were, like, in the main thing. It's like, well, I guess, like, social contracts.
So there's an interesting question. Can you, in this modern age, build an elaborate online role-playing space that is role-playing first in its design that doesn't turn into a weird sex thing?
That's the tricky part, yeah. And I mean, like, there are other things these days, too, in Second Life. They'll, like, advertise that are doing a similar thing, which aren't as explicitly all about that, but totally are, from what I saw. But I do think, like, a little build-your-own MMO specialty thing, just, like, a bare bones, here's a server, here's some character models, here's some basic props, do what you will, could be really cool. So I look at these quest updates, but I'm also like instantly getting these waves of zombies, so I can't actually read them.
This is good dialogue.
It really is. So I guess I'm possessed by this evil lich now. Which, this is an original plot that nobody got from a Blizzard game. And that Blizzard definitely made up themselves, for that matter.
This is extremely, I can't believe what he just made take place.
Yep. Now prepare for the final battle, by which you mean another horde of the same zombies you've just been, like, button mashing through. Oh no, there's something big over there. Okay, cool. Take control of this creature? Oh, but I was still reading that. Well, that's interesting. Okay, let me try this thing, because that actually sounds like halfway... Yeah, it's fun.
Finally, we got a mechanic.
Yeah. And it only came in, like, quite a while after I was willing to give it up, honestly. I just wanted to see something.
We're not even getting the, like, cardboard cutout cutscenes I was expecting. We're just getting dialogue boxes where they say "arg."
Oh.
Oh no, now it's punching you.
Yep. I will leave, but there's, like, loot over here. Oh, no, there isn't. Okay. Level completed.
This looks like the East
here we go.
Desert. Excellent. Chance is on our side. I guess I also owe you an explanation.
This voice
The
acting.
war bogged down. Weary of seeing my people die, I summoned the other kings to resolve our differences. We met in the Temple of Heroes.
What is this accent?
A mystical place
I was
only
just thinking
accessible
that
by
it's like some
kings.
kind
And
of
we managed
rogue
to come
pirate.
to a peace agreement. We mingled our blood and swore an oath. It was then
TMI, dude.
that the most infamous evil appeared right inside the temple. It immediately attacked me.
Oh, wow.
And imprisoned me in a magic
I'm glad I stuck it out for
As
this
a
long.
black veil began to descend over me, I saw my allies rush into the fray. I read in you that they survived and managed to return to their realms. But I fear the evil took
His
part
voice
of
keeps
their
coming and
souls
going.
within, hence their lethargy. You're wondering how I can know all this? Possession. This is the power that allowed you to control the monster. When I enter a corpse, I know everything about it. Its story, its knowledge, its secret. Don't you know the old saying? To the east, fire and strength. To the south, water and courage. To the west, earth and wisdom. To the north, wind and spirit. This is my
It's a long-ass saying.
Imprisoned in the magic crystal, I slowly regained consciousness.
So has everybody seen Chigto?
Running around.
They're just kind of thriller dancing. They're not actually swinging at anything.
I waited until I regained enough strength. Then, possessing one of them, I extracted my spirit from its cocoon.
What?
Then I found you. An agile
What?
mind in a strong body. Someone strong enough to help me put an end to all that. Listen carefully. Each realm has a magical portal leading into the Temple of Heroes. But the passage only opens when all 4 portals are active. The northern portal should still be active. If we can activate the 3 others, the passage will open once again, cleansing the Temple of Evil in the process. We will then be able to cross through. And if the gods will it, I shall regain my body.
So a couple questions. One, what's in it for me exactly?
Well, so let's review. They were doing a blood ritual, and a bunch of demons appeared, and the demons turned only him into a magic crystal through which he can possess the zombies' bodies, but not that big zombie. But then you came along, and you also have that power, so he needs your help to activate 4 portals. What ritual were they doing, and what are these portals for, though?
My guess, and I know this is kind of an out there theory, but hear me out, is that this guy is actually bad and was trying to summon me.
He is the demons. I hear that story too, and he's like, oh, and by the way, the north one's already active. And I'm like, they drew these maps before they realized they only had time to develop 3 worlds, didn't they?
Yep. Also, like, what's surrounding these 4 parts of the world exactly?
Oh yeah, they're very neatly divided into like their respective biomes.
Well, like, there's also something way up top there, and it's like, this isn't even like an island, it's just a few valleys.
Yeah, is it like clouds all around? Is this like a floating island kind of thing?
I don't know. But I do know, I think, that I went up a level or 2. So I might be able to...
Perhaps you can wear your sacred pants now.
Yeah. Because I'm still interested in seeing how that looks.
Blasphemously wear pants.
And the blood armor. Of course, the elves are reclusive
elves.
people.
That's what they could say in the tooltip.
Uh-oh, runtime error. That's not good.
Oh, I'm still seeing it on my end.
I am too, but I'm also seeing runtime error.
Oh.
There it goes. I'm going to actually give that just a little bit more of a try, because it was starting to get really funny.
It was. I'm worried it's going to be like another hour of left clicking before we see any more cutscenes, but I'm curious.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the entire game before we see any more cutscenes. That really felt like it was just kind of like, here is all the exposition we have.
Oh, maybe that wasn't even chapter 1. That was a prologue. Good point. There was kind of an inconsistency in the way that script was written too. Like, he was supposed to have this like low-class accent, right? But he's this like educated wizard type. And then sometimes he was like, oh, I love the Brazzers logo.
Yeah, this is a classy production.
That's actually a pretty good logo too.
Okay, let's resume that campaign in the Dwarf Quarry.
It seems we're already out of tooltips.
Yep. Yeah.
What was I saying before the Pornhub logo distracted me?
Something about the voice acting, something about the map.
Oh yeah. His like in his vocabulary is all like hence and forthwith and stuff like that. But then he's like doing that LeChuck thing.
Uh-huh.
It didn't sound. Maybe they told him to sound like old and doing one of these voices was the closest he could get.
Yep. So this is one of those things where it's like, as a thing that I realize I actually own, I am very disappointed. As a piece of entertainment, though, I am delighted with this. Except for this happening again. Apparently, the Land of the Dwarves has a fatal runtime error every time you try to load it. So
Oh wow, that's something.
I guess that's all we're seeing of raw Realms of Ancient War. Sadly. Which, I mean, that was a thing. That was really.
I had already forgotten that was the title, despite their numerous attempts to remind me.
Mm-hmm.